Can you guys hear me? All right, let's take 2 on this, guys. Apparently I had some audio issues. Hopefully this will work. All right. 3 myths about nutrition. Our program is powered by Healthy Steps Nutrition. Sorry if you can hear my kiddo. Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition should not be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple habit-based approach to help you reach your goals one step at a time. Healthy Steps Nutrition has helped over 45,000 people all around the world take control of their health. Here are some examples of some of their success stories. We know that while this is simple, it is far from easy. With all the information out there regarding the best diets, the best foods, and the best exercise programs, it's no wonder we all feel so overwhelmed. When I was younger, I always remember hearing, "You shouldn't eat past 7 p.m." It was said that if you ate that late, you would gain weight. This was said so many times, I truly believed it as fact. It was as if the foods I eat would magically gain calories the later it got. That small chocolate chip cookie that is typically 70 calories is all of a sudden 700 calories, and there was nothing I could do about it. It led to a fear of food near the end of the day, which turned into a food scarcity mindset earlier in the day. As I got older and dove into nutrition, I learned that that wasn't the case at all. Foods don't magically become higher in calories or promote extra weight gain. So why do so many of us hear that narrative? While eating foods after a certain time doesn't magically change, causing you or anyone to gain weight, it may make it harder to reach a weight loss goal. The truth is that eating late has the potential to disrupt your quality of sleep, making it harder for you to make better choices throughout your day as your body is looking for those quick energy sources. When we eat at night, specifically things higher in fat and sugar, often found in sweet treats, our blood sugar isn't going to be stable, which changes our sleep patterns, which in turn affects our hormones through the following day. We will have elevated cortisol and another hormone, which, without getting too sciencey on you, it affects our fat deposition, growth hormone release, and it's famously known as the hunger hormone. Higher levels of this will cause us to have more cravings. We will also have a lower amount of a hormone called leptin, which helps us to feel full and satisfied, which leads to a perfect storm to overconsume, and that is ultimately why someone is struggling to see progress with their weight loss goals when it comes to eating at night. Instead of worrying about the time of day we're eating, we should instead focus on the quality of our food sources and balance throughout the day. If you feel hungry after dinner because it's been a long day, go ahead and eat mindfully. Instead of grabbing something highly processed and high in added sugar, grab something that will satisfy you while also being balanced. This may look like Greek yogurt with some fruit, or even an HSN protein chocolate chip cookie to hit that sweet tooth craving. So this is one example of a nutrition myth and how it is not serving us or our goals. Today we're going to talk about 3 of those big nutrition myths, where they stem from, why they aren't factual, and what you should do instead. Let's dive right into number 1. Carbs make you gain weight. Who has heard that carbohydrates make you gain weight? I would assume most of us have heard that. There is this wide assumption that carbohydrate intake leads to weight gain. The idea of demonizing carbohydrates is not a new concept. In fact, it's quite cyclical, meaning it comes back into popularity regularly, typically with a new name. Maybe you have heard of the Atkins diet, the South Beach diet, the low-carb, high-fat, high-protein diet, and now the ketogenic diet. The sad part is that many of the people telling you carbohydrates are responsible for your weight gain are profiting from those statements. They are profiting so much that by 2027, the ketogenic diet market is predicted to reach a global value of $15.6 billion. Their businesses would be crushed if you found out the truth about carbohydrates and how they don't actually make you fat. Carbohydrates are actually our primary source of fuel. When we eat carbohydrates, they get broken down into a simple sugar called a monosaccharide. In order to be absorbed, it must be in this simplest form. When absorption happens, a rise in blood sugar will stimulate the release of insulin. Without insulin, our body cannot take up glucose and use it as energy. When we eat carbohydrates, our body first uses the sugar in the blood as a quick energy source. Once our cells have taken in enough energy, our liver takes control to turn that excess sugar into glycogen to be used as an energy source later on. Glycogen is mainly stored in our muscles and liver. We need to remember that there is only so much storage room in our body, so anything in excess will be converted into fat for long-term storage in the body. Now you're probably thinking, didn't you just say that carbohydrates won't make me fat? Well, the fat stored from carbohydrates is normal and essential for everyday function. Since we do not eat every minute of the day and our bodies require glucose for energy, we're able to turn that fat into usable glucose when we need it. And please remember, any macronutrient consumed in excess, yes, even protein, will be stored as fat on the body. This is why eating in a caloric deficit is important for fat loss. If you need even more proof that carbohydrates will not make you fat, here it is. Over 32 different studies showed that there was no weight loss benefit from eating a low-carb diet over a high-carb diet. This means when calorie intake and energy expenditures were controlled, the only thing changing between the two groups was the amount of carbohydrates eaten. There was no significant difference in weight loss found. By now you know carbohydrates are our main source of energy. It is also your brain's preferred source of energy. So why try to restrict carbohydrates? It is like trying to run your car on an empty gas tank. Instead, we need to have a consistent and moderate intake of carbohydrate paired with protein and fat throughout the day. This way we can feel more satisfied at mealtimes and feel fuller for longer. Since we don't have the time to eat every second of the day, aren't you glad your body can save some energy for later? Imagine having to fill up your gas tank every single time you left your house. That would get exhausting. The best way to do this is to follow the plate method or hand portion guides while incorporating 3 meals throughout the day. The plate method is the easiest way to reshape your plate to ensure you are hitting the right balance to reach your goal. Fill half your plate with non-starchy veggies, a fourth of your plate with lean protein, and a fourth of your plate with starchy carbs. Or if you prefer mixed foods in a bowl, consider using your hands as a guide. So you may be wondering which carbs are better. When we incorporate carbohydrates, we should try to consume whole foods first. These are things like your fruits, root vegetables like potatoes, and whole grains. Next, we want to consider the glycemic index of the foods. Remember the whole insulin thing we discussed earlier? That is all dependent on the glycemic index of the food. The assigned glycemic index tells us how much our blood sugar will spike, thus how much insulin our body needs to release in order to bring it back down after eating. We should prioritize lower glycemic index foods when we can. However, incorporating more moderate and high glycemic carbohydrates is best earlier in the day and before and after workouts, when our cells are more ready for the sugar we get from carbohydrates. Speaking of pre- and post-workout meals, that leads us right into myth number 2. Training fasted is better. This was a big-time myth circulating around in all areas of health and fitness, but it is extremely popular for bodybuilders and those aiming to lose weight quickly. Maybe you have heard the claim that doing cardio fasted or before eating anything would allow you to burn more fat. This stems back from the late 90s when a fitness pro wrote a book with a chapter theorizing that aerobic exercise in the morning can optimize fat loss when fasted. Well, where did this myth really stem from? Well, the rationale behind this was that when we go a long time without eating, or fast, such as overnight during sleep, our body uses the sugar in our blood for energy, followed by the glycogen, which is stored carbohydrates typically found in our muscle tissues. After these energy sources are depleted, our body has no other choice than to rely on fat for energy. With this kind of explanation, the myth seems promising, right? But here's the real reason it took off. This idea swept the bodybuilding community with influencers who look the way many people want to look. More people skipped reading about it and just took it as fact. Enter the era of lethargic-looking workouts. When we train fasted, there is a significant decline in performance. Not only will fasted training lead to fatigue and hunger, but also the inability to focus. CrossFit and other moderate to high-intensity workouts require stored energy for good performance. If there is no food to replenish the energy storage, you will not be able to move as much weight or move as quickly. This is because your fuel tank is on empty and quite literally has no energy to expend. Fasted training does not influence weight loss or cause lasting change in body composition. Many people think that skipping out on meals before the gym will compensate for the calories they eat after the gym. More than likely, you might overcompensate for the missing calories and even overeat, especially if you're hungry. Fat oxidation is also a term you may hear around this myth, but just know fat oxidation is always happening, so there's no reason to try to increase it by training fasted. A recent study by Frampton and Associates looked at the effects of fasted versus non-fasted exercise on calorie intake, subjective hunger, and energy expenditure. This recent meta-analysis found that participants within the group who practiced fasted exercise did reduce their daily calorie intake, but they also reported a higher hunger level and lower energy expenditure, meaning calories burned throughout the day compared to the unfasted groups. In fact, they burned about 10 calories an hour less. Not only does this meta-analysis show us that fasted exercise does not increase or boost our metabolism, but we also found that fasted exercise decreases overall performance in the gym. These findings resulted in no difference in body fat loss between the fasted and unfasted exercise groups. When we train, we use our glycogen storages to create energy from the carbohydrates we consume. As we have seen that fasted exercise doesn't benefit fat loss, we recommend eating before and after your workouts to not only help with performance, but also help with energy expenditure throughout the day and hunger levels. A good rule of thumb is to eat a pre-workout snack such as an applesauce pouch for quick carbohydrates with a source of protein such as protein powder, deli meat, or non-fat Greek yogurt. Aim to consume the snack about 30 to 60 minutes prior to your activity. Myth number 3, detox products rid the body of toxins. Odds are you've seen marketing for some type of detox, whether it be in the form of a juice, tea, or even a pill. At a quick glance, they seem like something worthwhile when trying to lose weight or decrease bloating. They make claims such as, it removes impurities from the blood in the liver where toxins are processed for elimination, and also eliminates toxins in the kidneys, intestines, and skin. You may even see before and after pictures showing people who look significantly different after just 3 to 7 days of detoxing. Detox teas, juices, and cleanses are everywhere and easily accessible. To many of us, this might not seem like a red flag, but let's dive in a little deeper. We talked about how much the keto diet industry is making, but what about the global detox market? Last year, the detox market was valued at over $51 billion. Cold-pressed juices, teas, supplements, herbs, and other similar products promise to cleanse the body, making over $51 billion for companies. A 1 to 3 day juice cleanse averages $60 to $200. You would think they work considering people are spending so much money on them, but really it's just a big scam. The first thing these companies do is convince you that your body has toxins and there's something wrong with you. If you have genuine concerns, you should see a healthcare professional instead of turning to the internet. The teas and products you see celebrities using are not going to fix an actual toxin that gets into your body. Say, for instance, you are exposed to smoke or environmental waste. These detoxes are not going to help rid that from the body. Most detox teas contain diuretics. Diuretics, sometimes called water pills, help your body excrete water along with electrolytes. Due to this flushing, you will notice weight loss, but it is not toxins being removed from the body, nor is it your body losing fat. The human body is very fascinating and is equipped far better than we think, especially when it comes to detoxifying itself to help keep us alive. The liver and kidneys are the main components of our body's detoxifying system, and they do a pretty dang good job. As we now know that these detox products can cause dehydration, it's easy to see how these products may cause more harm than good. Major dehydration can cause damage to the body, and specifically the function of your kidneys. This is ironic because for your body to be able to detoxify naturally, your kidneys need to be working in coordination with the main detox organ in the system, the liver. The liver is our most important tool when it comes to detoxifying our body, but we need to treat it well in order for it to do its thing. A great way to keep your liver functioning efficiently is by limiting our saturated fat intake, sugar intake, and alcohol intake. This does not mean cutting out these things 100%. but incorporating them in moderation. In just a few slides, we are going to discuss the 3 core principles of our program to help you understand what this may look like. In addition to our liver, we need to treat our kidneys well. A good way to take care of your kidneys is to stay hydrated. A good rule of thumb is to consume 60 to 80 ounces of water for most individuals, though recommendations vary. Our liver and kidneys are very good at their job and do not need help from a detox juice or a cleanse. It can handle the job on its own as long as we are taking care of our overall health. Don't feel bad if you've fallen prisoner to one of these myths that are floating around the diet industry. We're exposed to them every single day. The diet industry is making a killing on products that have little evidence supporting them. They take our obsession with beauty, youth, and thinness and use it against us to make a profit. If you have tried a diet in the past or a product that claimed to do something it didn't, don't worry, because diets and similar products tend to fail 95% of the time. So instead of turning to the internet or celebrities with little to no education in nutrition and health, you can reach out to a registered dietitian or nutrition coach to help you along your way. That may have felt like a lot of information, and so maybe you're wondering what you can do to start reaching your goals. While cutting through all the noise in the diet industry is a great start, we know it's a lot. So here are the HSN principles that have helped so many people take control of their health, one habit at a time. First and foremost, we want to focus on adding more whole foods into your diet. Start choosing whole food options and less processed foods packed with sodium, fat, and sugar. A simple way to start this is by reshaping your plate using that plate method. Number 2, focus on balance. When I say balance, I mean does every meal and snack that you consume throughout the day contain a carb, a protein, and a fat? Pairing each meal and snack with all 3 of these macronutrients will keep you fuller longer. Number 3, limit the added sugar. The AHA recommends no more than 6 teaspoons of sugar for women a day and 9 teaspoons of sugar for men a day. The average person consumes over 150 pounds of sugar per year. That's roughly 46 teaspoons per day. It's not surprising, sugar is super addicting and feels like it's hidden in almost every food product you find in a package. Let's talk about a few frequently asked questions. How do I choose a good supplement? Choosing a safe and effective supplement can be quite confusing. They are not regulated by the FDA like drugs are, meaning they are not reviewed for safety or efficacy before they hit the store shelves. Here are 4 tips to help you navigate choosing a product. Number 1, a good first step is to talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian to see if you even need a dietary supplement. Remember, eat a variety of whole foods and you will get all the necessary nutrients your body needs. Supplements are meant to supplement, not replace. If you are looking to supplement, choose brands that have been tested by a trusted third party. Look for products labeled with the Informed Choice label, NSP International, or Consumer Lab Seal. These verify that the product actually contains the ingredients the label says. If a product claims it will cure disease, is all natural, or has a money-back guarantee, be cautious. Anything that sounds too good to be true probably is. Be cautious when purchasing supplements made outside the United States. Many of these supplements are not regulated and can contain toxic ingredients. Where should I start? Great question. I want you to start with one thing at a time. Maybe it's something you already have in mind, or maybe it's one of the things we discussed today. But the best and fastest way to reach your goals is to work one-on-one with a nutrition coach to build an individualized plan just for you. If you're looking to hear more about how this program can change your life, tune into the Nutrition Made Simple podcasts, available wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you're looking to find out more, shoot us an email, nutrition@rushmorecrossfit.com. Pop in the office, shoot me an email, however you want to do that. I'm happy to help, happy to answer your questions. I look forward to chatting with you guys. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm going to hang out here for just a few minutes, open the floor up for any questions you guys might have. Thank you all for joining me today, and I will go ahead and watch the comments now for any questions. right, guys. It doesn't look like anybody has any questions for me. So with that, I will go ahead and say good night to you all. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you all at the gym this week. Have a good night, everyone.